Now live from the Cake Studios, this is Good Morning Kansas.
Hey, good morning, Kansas. Thank you so much for being with us on this Wednesday morning. We've made it to 6:30, and a lot has happened since we started the show here at 4:30. A lot of roads closed, a lot of roads reopened, a lot of schools out as well.
Yeah, trying to start your day with a smile here like we want to, but that is not the case for a lot of people. We know there's concern and even some panic in some areas. People are being evacuated from their homes at this hour. Frank, this is something that, as you reported earlier, could get even worse in some areas in the near future.
Yeah, that's right, especially when we're dealing with river flood warnings. So in some cases, rivers are still going to come up, looking at projecting a major flood along the Walnut River for Winfield. But that doesn't crest until probably sometime tomorrow afternoon, and it could crest at about 33 feet. Now, that's still below the levee, but there is some problems that occur when it gets that high. In red here, that's kind of the immediate concern. Those are the flash flood warnings. We have Rice County, entire Rice County covered up. Now, all of Marion County covered up, northeastern Reno County, southern Sedgwick, southern Butler, most of Cowley, and all of Sumner County. Places like Peabody, we've heard of evacuations taking place of houses there. We've heard reports of cars submerged in Rice County, people trying to drive, ending up in floodwaters. Cow Creek, north and west of Hutch, always seems to have problems and dealing with issues there as well. And then south central Kansas, this is a look at where the heaviest rainfall has fallen over the past 24 hours. Wellington, Belle Plaine, Mulvane, Douglas to Augusta, and in a lot of cases schools are closed there because I think in some places we're talking 6+ inches of rainfall in 24 hours time, and as a result we still do have some closures, it sounds like, on the Kansas Turnpike. Now, some good news for the time being, rain letting up in south central Kansas. Bad news is more on the way. Western Kansas, that rain that's developing, all of that kicks to the east, and eventually, as that system moves eastward, we could spark some severe storms this afternoon. This is kind of the last round of severe weather this week. High wind, a major concern with this as it moves eastward, and more flooding is anticipated. We're going to track the timing of that, talk more about those threats coming up.
Thank you, Frank. Well, we continue talking about the flooding in Cakeland this morning. Shane, you were just talking about that panic, those evacuations kind of happening this morning.
Yeah, and we're getting some daylight to help us out in finding out just how serious this is in Peabody right now. People live near the Spring Creek. They've been evacuated this morning. First responders helped people get out of their homes. A lot of those people have been moved out now. But this is going to be a concern throughout the entire morning, of course, the rest of the day, as people try to dry out right now and just find a different living situation, at least for the time being. We'll keep you updated, of course, from Peabody near the Spring Creek. Also, in regards to the Kansas Turnpike this morning, I-35 is now closed from the Wellington exit to the South Haven exit, or basically the Kansas-Oklahoma state line. That's in both directions, northbound and southbound. So, however, the KTA has reopened I-35 southbound from Mulvane to Wellington. That was just reopened within the last hour or so. So that route is now open in both directions. That makes it, if you're from Wichita going southbound, that is to the Wellington exit. You will not be able to pass that area there.
And then now to Mulvane, take a look at this video. Flood waters covering the streets in downtown and several neighborhoods there. The water moving quickly through the town, and just before midnight, a woman had to be rescued after her vehicle got stuck in a ditch near K15 and Webb Road. And again, stay ahead of the storms by downloading the Cake First Alert weather app. The app is free for Apple and Android devices. We'll take a short break. We'll have more after this.
This is Good Morning Kansas with Alyson Acklin, Shane Ewing, and meteorologist Frank Waugh with your Cake First Alert forecast. Cake News on your side.
Good morning, Cakeland. We continue to talk about road closures. One of the major ones, it is the I-35 closures. This is Kansas Turnpike from roughly South Haven to Wellington, and maybe even possibly all the way to the Kansas-Oklahoma state line. Northbound and southbound is closed. So if you're trying to get to Oklahoma this morning on the Turnpike, you're not going right now. And if you're trying to get into Cakeland on the Turnpike, you're not really going anywhere right now. Water has been reported over the turnpike in some spots, and crews are trying to get that figured out. Follow the Kansas Turnpike on Twitter. They've been doing a great job of putting out information this morning. Here's a look at what's been occurring over the past 6 hours. Large, massive rain rolling across eastern half of the state. Good news is it's starting to let up a little bit in south central Kansas. Bad news is we got more on the way. It's this line to the west that we're watching. Showers and storms forming along the Kansas-Colorado state line. That's going to move east. It's going to fall across this zone here. This is the flood warning and watch situation that we have. In dark red here, we have flash flood warnings for all of Marion County. That's been expanded. We saw those live pictures coming out of Peabody. We heard reports of some home evacuations take place in Peabody this morning. Rice County, we've heard reports of cars being submerged. Northeastern Reno County, a place that often has problems. Just got word that South Haven has called off school. Now we've got a lot of school closures at the bottom of your screen. You get down into southern Sedgwick County, southern portions of Butler County, most of Cowley County, and all of Sumner County. You're dealing with a flash flood warning here. And just got word just before I came on the air here, Sedgwick County Emergency Management saying that a complicating issue this morning across portions of the county is that some of these roads, they don't have barricades up on them yet because they're seeing flooding take place in places that generally don't have flooding. So there's a chance you could be driving along and all of a sudden you see water on the roadway. You need to be prepared for that this morning, and please do not drive into flooded roadways. And also, especially with a lot of kids being out of school today, parents, please stress to your kids the importance of staying out of that water, especially if there's going to be a time today where they may be unsupervised. They need to stay out of those floodwaters. I know it looks like fun to go play in the city park or wherever where the water is up, but it is really easy for things to get out of hand fast in these situations. So please stay out of the floodwaters. And these floodwaters are going to continue to come up. We're looking at the Walnut River in Winfield, not cresting until tomorrow afternoon at over 30 feet. That is a major flood stage for that river. Now, it won't go over the levee at that point, but you could still have some problems in Winfield, and rivers are going to continue to rise over the next couple of days. Look at this. This is KCast, our weather model. The morning rain, north and south central Kansas, it's headed out of here. We get a break. That's good news. The street flooding will come down as we go through the day today, but more rain on the way. It marches eastward. We might even get a little sunshine today. South central, southeast Cakeland. That's a concern because if that adds a little heat to the system, storms that fire up this afternoon could be strong, potentially severe as this cold front sweeps on through. I think the most likely threat is going to be high wind, maybe a little bit of large hail, maybe a very brief tornado. But I really think one of the biggest concerns that people often don't think about is the potential for more flooding. So here's the area outlined in yellow. It does include Wichita. Afternoon, evening kind of time frame, high wind potential, hail and tornado threats a little bit lower here, and flooding is likely to continue to be an issue in places where rivers are going over roads. That's just going to continue to be an issue for the next couple of days. Here's a view outside. Central Care Cancer Center, KCAM, 58 degrees. Pick your city. Temperatures kind of all over the place. Quite a bit cooler in northwest Kansas, and a fair amount of variation today on your forecast. Highs in the 70s, south central into north central Kansas. That's the area where we could see those strong and severe storms. Cooler to the north and west. By morning, temperatures drop into the 30s and 40s, so a chilly start, kind of a blustery start as well tomorrow with the wind. We're going to go through the 7 days quick. 54 tomorrow, 64 on Friday, 64 Saturday. We're back in the 70s as we get into next week. North central Kansas, 52 tomorrow. Morning lows Friday down to 36. We're back in the 70s next week. Southwest Kansas, chance for showers and storms today, but not looking severe. Got a report from someone in Ashland. Picked up 3 inches of rain yesterday. You'll likely get more today. Morning lows Friday down around 34. Colby Goodland, Norton Hill City. Morning lows Friday down around freezing. Time to give way at Mel Hamilton Ford. Cake First Alert rain gauge. Douglas Wiss of Wichita is our winner today. If you'd like to win one yourself, go to cake.com/contest. I know we've said it so many times, but please do not drive into floodwaters today. It happens all the time. People say, I got a big truck, I can do it. Or, you know what, I've driven through this before. You don't know if that road is washed out. Yeah. And a reminder, I know they're probably driving right now, but we've seen problems in the past with buses and floodwaters. Just find a different route. Go somewhere else.
Even before all of this hit today, I was up near Harrington yesterday and saw some roads that people had to drive around. They couldn't get past them, and that was before this rainfall. Yeah,
and it's going to get worse in some places before it gets better, especially if you're dealing with rivers, because in some cases they're not going to crest for maybe another 24 to maybe 48 hours.
Yeah. All right, Frank, of course, we'll stay on top of that. We've got much more here on GMK. Stay with us.
Hey, it's time to give away a Cake Coffee mug brought to you by Spears this morning.
Yeah, let's try to brighten someone's day up here. It's Amber King today. The graphic says Mary Lou, but Mary won yesterday. Today it goes to Amber King. She went to cake.com/contest for a chance to win, and we'll announce a winner every morning on GMK. Now, looking at your local business headlines from the Wichita Business Journal.
Yeah, let's take a look. Fidelity Bank announced yesterday that it will build a $51 million expansion in downtown Wichita. That'll include a 10-story office tower and a private car park. Their president says the expansion is a long-term commitment to the city and Fidelity customers. The bank will begin construction on the tower in the fall of 2020. It'll be a $35 million, 135,000 square foot structure.
Boeing's stock price fell Tuesday to its lowest level since the second crash of its 737 MAX model aircraft. Barclays downgraded the company's stock over concerns about the production on the 737 MAX and consumer confidence. Shares dipped in early trading to $359 at one point, and it closed the day at $357. It's still a ways away from the 52-week low price of $292 that it experienced earlier. You can read more on these stories and others at wichitabusinessjournal.com. And time now for one more look at the forecast. Frank?
And we have numerous flood warnings. We have countless road closures because of floodwaters, and we've got a lot of schools at the bottom of your screen calling it off day because of high water. So be aware of that. More storms possible this afternoon, a few of which could be severe. Get more on our Facebook page and we'll have more details coming up.
All right, welcome back. Once again, we want to talk about that flooding on the Turnpike. We've known of a lot of closures, but also a lot of reopenings this morning as well. Yeah,
crews have been very busy this morning, so we do want to speak with the Turnpike now. We have Rachel Bell on the phone. She's with the Kansas Turnpike Authority, and we appreciate your time. Rachel, thanks for joining us.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, you know, can you describe the situation right now in terms of what is closed and what's the process of traffic being diverted as needed?
Yeah, crews are, as you said, have been out all night working to barricade the roads so that we are, closing the road physically. It is still closed between Wellington, that's exit 19, and the Oklahoma line. We've been working with our partners down at the Oklahoma DOT to try to divert traffic off down at Bremen because there is an additional challenge. We've got a bridge out on US 166 due to construction unrelated to the flooding.
Is there a timeline as far as when this might be reopened this morning?
We don't have a timeline yet. The rain really has just stopped here in the last hour or so down at that location. So, we're really going to reassess here as the rain stops, the water, we get a good look at the water and the sun comes out, or at least it gets lighter so that we can really see what we're dealing with.
Rachel, this is something that doesn't happen very often, that we get the actual turnpike closing in this area. Is that a testament to just how much rain fell in that area, how high the water was? And also, are we dealing with any debris on the roadway from this? Is that something that crews are having to deal with?
Yes, this really is a testament to how much rain we have had, and we are not the only ones dealing with flooding. I think US 81 may be closed or has been closed overnight, so that has made the situation even more challenging for travelers as they're trying to find an alternate route. We really, can't say about the road yet because it is just getting daylight, so we're just getting a good look at it right now.
And for travelers out there, what is the very best way for them to stay on top of updates from the Kansas Turnpike?
We send out all of our roadway information with text alerts, and you can sign up at our website at ksturnpike.com. But candrive.org is a great option for seeing road closures across the state, and that has to do with both construction and weather incidents like this flooding.
All right, Rachel, thank you very much. Hey, just a general assessment right now. Are you aware of what the backup is like at that Wellington exit right now? Is it pretty significant, would you say?
I do not have any information on that right now. I apologize.
Okay, well, we'll, of course, stay on top of that, and we appreciate the information that you've been able to offer, Rachel. Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, I think probably the best bet for people traveling, if you're trying to go south, I mean, just don't. Right now, I wouldn't go anywhere, because right now you're going to be diverted off at Wellington, and then you're going to have a whole ton of vehicles trying to eventually get back on. So if you're trying to go south right now, I don't think I would do that. And if you're trying to get into Kansas, well, be patient as well. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, we'll check out what's coming up on Good Morning America as well. We'll be back with more.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, an ABC News exclusive. The mother of Molly Tibbetts, that Iowa college student who was killed jogging last year, is breaking her silence this morning. And it's only on GMA. We'll see y'all soon.
Flooding is a major concern this morning, especially across south central Kansas. Please be careful if you're driving. More wet weather's on the way. We're going to catch a little bit of a break this morning, south central Kansas, then more on the way. And eventually, yes, another chance of strong and severe storms late in the day into the overnight. We will be tracking that, and more updates coming up throughout Good Morning America.
All right, send us some pictures or videos if you do have them. Just stay safe in doing so.
Have a good day. We'll see you.
For breaking news and your most accurate local forecast, KAKE News is on air, online, and on your mobile. KAKE News, on your side.